We say we want new possibilities, new adventures, new things coming into our life, but then a part of us doesn't. That's exactly what we're talking about today on Mindful Manifesting, and you're listening to Ariana Rollins. Before we dive into the episode, this is our second to our last episode for the year, and I want to make sure that I invite you to my New Year's Day event. It is live, it's online. New Year's, no limits. I'll make sure the link is in the show notes. I would love to welcome in the new year, ring in the new year with you. This is a perfect time to tap into new possibilities. Okay, thank you so much for being here and listening. Okay, so opening up to new possibilities, we automatically think we are. We want that new relationship, that new job, that new client, that new program that's going to put us on the books, or we want to finish that book and just be on a New York Times bestseller list. We want that, right? Can you feel it? Feel it in your body? You feel the desire? You feel that, oh my gosh, what it's going to bring me? Well, maybe money, fame, success, love. Okay. So here's something that rarely do I hear talked about, if ever, actually, in the manifesting space. To bring in expanded, higher quality experiences may require us letting go of our successes. Yeah, I said that right. Excuse me, a little frog in my throat. It may require that you let go emotionally, mentally, of some of your peak moments, your successes. And we're going to do a quick exercise. You know me, I'm all about exercises because it's those inner dialogues that we have that bring us awareness and cause growth. If we go through our life, most of us are on autopilot. We're just doing our work. We're taking care of the home, maybe the children, the dog, the cat, the husband, the wife, taking care of friends, taking care of as in responding to their needs. And rarely do we just sit. Most of us can recharge with maybe taking a walk or watching a movie or something, and it's relaxing. But to sit and do what I call inner dialogue, where we ask ourselves a question, and amazingly, we get answers, we get insights. So I want to dive into this, recognizing peak moments. I know you've had them. I know you have. Now, why do we want to even address those major successes and peak moments? Here's the thing. Is without your awareness, your consciousness, you could be inadvertently comparing a potential partner. Maybe you want to move homes, your potential home, a business program or offering that you're going to put out there, maybe even a potential client or lifestyle. You could be comparing it with the past experience, a past peak moment, a success, if you will. Now, I know what you might be thinking right now. No way, I want to have more of those successes. Why should I let them go? Why shouldn't I hold on to them? Well, because there are three key things that can happen. And I think it's unfortunately human nature. When we have a peak moment, we want to have that again, but we want to actually, if we're honest with ourselves, we want even more. That's just the starting point. So there's three reasons why we might want to consider shedding our successes, letting go of our peak moments. One, it can give us a sense of feeling complete. Isn't that interesting? Another one, we'll go into this in more detail. Two, this is a really good one. A part of us could think, oh, that was so good. I couldn't have that again. And three, comparison-itis. I know you know what I mean by that. Okay, so let's go into a little more detail of feeling complete. Have you ever been working hard on a project? I don't know, maybe painting the house or moving. That's a good one. Or rebuilding, refurbishing something. And you prepped. You got everything you needed to be able to do it properly. And you did it. And it was a lot of effort. It was a lot. And you sit back and like, wow, I did it. Now, if there was any struggle in there, any frustration, oh gosh, I am just exhausted, or like me, I dropped something on my foot back in May when I moved. Well, that complete feeling can also have within it the struggle. And it's all kind of merged together. And our unconscious mind is really, its primary job is to help us survive, protect us from, well, death, really. Because if you think of the unconscious mind, the body is a storehouse of the unconscious mind. Well, when we no longer need our body and we take our last breath, well, that's death. And so it's going to do whatever it can to protect the organism. And part of protecting the organism is protecting it from fear, disappointment, failure, things like that. So having that sense of completion, you've done it, that's awesome. But if there's anything in there that's unresolved, anything that you wish did not happen again, it's got to be scrubbed clean. That's one of the things that I really find so valuable in actually, you can find it in two places. In the Mindful Achiever book, I actually go through how to scrub clean a success so that it only has in there what you want. So it don't inadvertently bring forward frustration. And also in the Highest Potential program, I teach that. And what's fantastic about it is that peak moment, that success you had, feels even brighter when you remove the frustration that you experienced along the way in the journey of creating it. And it truly feels complete. It feels like a peak moment, and we don't have the fear of repeating the discomfort, the frustration, the challenge. All right, so that's number 1. 2, having that sense of, oh, that was so good, I couldn't have that again. Now, a lot of times this can happen in partnerships. If you've ever had a partnership end, or maybe, sadly, you had love of your life die, leave their body, and a part of us looks back and there is a sense of, wow, that was so beautiful. The harmony, the connection, the bond. And bonds grow over time. That's not an instant thing. And I think sometimes is that there's a part of us that when we start something new, we want that bonded, comfortable feeling that comes over time and with experience. And rarely, I don't know if it's even possible, when we first meet someone and we start that dating process and spending time together, do we have that bonded feeling? Yes, some people do feel like family, and I have been very grateful to have one of my partners feel almost instantly like family. But even with that, you need to get to know the person. And you go through life and there could be a challenge. And how do they react? Do they handle the stress with ease? That creates a bond. You relax even more. Do they jump in and offer to support you? That creates a bond. And like, wow, I feel really loved and supported. So each of those experiences are like, it's interesting. I was just seeing like knitting. I used to knit many years ago. And you're knitting together a relationship. You're actually creating it from your life experiences with that person. That's a bond. So, oh, that was so good, I couldn't have that again. Are you starting to see that if you're looking for a new partner and you had peak moments, peak experiences, or even just the love of your life, that recognizing that and being open to new possibilities, that's what this whole podcast is about. And we'll talk about how we actually truly can open to new possibilities. That it takes us telling the truth. And I think that I've got that in the book. It's a phenomenal exercise. I know it's a weird name, telling the truth. But it goes into how we get real about something. So we get real about the relationship. Even if that was the love of our life, there were things that were challenging, right? So you could write on one side the things that were just harmonious and you want to have again, and then the things on the right side, the things that were challenging. Again, we're cleaning things up. We're seeing things in reality. We're not just glazing over the good parts or glossing over the good parts and forgetting the challenges, forgetting the things we don't want to create again. So looking at that, those things, oh gosh, yeah, it was not so good. And when my best friend ever, who previously was a partner, and I was so fortunate to have him in my life until he passed, I glossed over and just saw only the goodness about the person, about him. And then one day I was listening to an audio memo. I record a lot of audio memos because something will come up in a moment. And I was like, oh, just came out of meditation. I got to capture this. And I was like, whoa, that was in the moment relating with him. And it was challenging. I remember that. And it put some perspective. So telling myself the truth, well, was it oh so good? Or there were challenges in that too? And it was really reality facing. So it helped me gain a more honest perspective of that label that, oh, that was the best partnership, that was the best friend. I've also grown. I may desire different things, but if I keep holding on to the past peak moments, success moments, guess what? I'm not going to be open to new possibilities. I know this podcast is out there. I don't know anybody talking about it. But when we recognize that we are holding a perception of our life experience, we're holding a perception of reality, and we have tools and resources to actually bring it closer to reality and up-level it and clean out things that we don't want to experience again, we become, interesting term came to me, like a clearer, cleaner vessel. Like we've got a mirror that's been polished and is clear instead of having the fog in there or just our projections in there. And we're looking at the relationship with honesty, with truthfulness. We're looking at that, completing that project with completeness, true completeness. We're recognizing, whoa, I could have done that a little better. Oh my gosh, I could tell you stories of how I get excited to a project and I'd initiate it and I realized, wow, there's about 3 steps that I need to do before, and now I've disassembled the vacuum, or I have cleaned the closet out and I didn't realize that I have company coming the next day and I got to put it all back because I don't have time to really do a deep dive Marie Kondo spark joy on this stuff. So getting complete, it can make us even more efficient and effective and enjoying the journey more when we do that. So let's talk about the third one, comparisonitis. You wouldn't do that, would you? You wouldn't compare your new partner to your past one. You wouldn't compare your new client with your past client who you loved and it was just like spending time with the best friend. You wouldn't compare your new boss to your previous amazing boss. Nah, we all do it. We all do it. There's a better term that maybe goes with it. It's called assessment. Okay? And when we are in assessment, we're not judging. We're not saying that partner should be like my old partner in this way. That boss should be like my old boss. And we are assessing from our mature eyes today, well, what is it that works for us? Or we're assessing that that person is a unique individual and they have all these wonderful characteristics and qualities, and they don't have that. But remember, if we do these other two inner inquiries and exercises, we know that that memory we had was not 100% ideal. It wasn't a 10 in perfect peak blissness, was it? So 3, comparisonitis. When we are in judgment, and boy, is it quick to get to judgment. Shouldn't be like that. They shouldn't do that. Nope, they should do this. Yep, and I know better. We're actually sending energies, thoughts, because our thoughts are carrying the emotion of the judgment, and they're like little porcupines. They're like these little quills that get shot out. I know, it's a really odd thing to think about. But energetically, people feel our judgment. So maybe that's a good visual for you. Porcupine quills. They feel our disappointment. And if you're in the beginnings of a new relationship, my friend, you do not want to be projecting that. You want to be in the newness of it, circling back, opening up to new possibilities, because you have no idea that the beginning of that new relationship, that new job, that new connection with your new client, your new VIP client, it could become a new peak moment, a new elevated state of what you can rise to and what you can experience. So, opening up to new possibilities can often mean cleaning up our past. Most people don't want to do it, but it's one of the things that I have witnessed. I'll share a real quick story and then we'll start to wrap up. I was reflecting the other day, because I've been teaching what I do for like 20 years, manifesting SMART goals. Let's just say it like that, because it's not airy-fairy wish list, sit on your sofa. Wish list is just the very first step of multiple steps to uplevel your life to become the person who will attract that possibility, to welcome in that new possibility without fear. I was reflecting, I was like, oh my gosh, this is so interesting. Now, I don't run a business on relationship, finding your perfect partner, or cleaning up and up-leveling your current relationship. And all of a sudden I realized, well, I could. There are 4 profound stories over the last few years that I am witnessing, 2 of which were within less than a year. I'll share just one and then we'll wrap up. Actually, no, they're 2. They're too profound. I got to share both. So here's a man who is in a relationship where, I don't like labels, but let's just say that the person was not upfront, not honest. They were using him. Very generous, very loving person. The partner he's with did not have to work. She could explore her crafts, her adventures, and he found out she was having an affair. It broke his heart. And he was so nervous about informing how to end the relationship. He had to do it sub rosa. He had to kind of sneak out of the relationship because she had a violent aspect to her and anger. So he was really afraid of attracting a manipulative, I won't say the word, but I think you know what it is, partner. And he joined the Highest Potential program about a year and a half ago, I guess it was. And then he did a refresher version of it last year. And I was so in awe of his self-reflection, of how he noticed there were things about himself that opened him up to that caliber of relationship and that level of abuse. He dove in to creating a value system that would no longer attract that caliber of person, that he became someone who would recognize the qualities and characteristics of someone who would abuse him, and he would no longer vibrate at that frequency to attract that. Well, I think it was last year, August, September, it was near the end of the year. And he would always, chat with me because we're very, very good friends. And he told me he found someone on, maybe it was Match, and she had liked him and he had liked her, but for some reason he was not on the paid version, so he didn't see that she was trying to reach out to him. Well, this is how blockers can work, my friend. This is interesting. This is a person who makes extremely, like, boggle book good money, really good money. He refused to do the paid version of Match. So this blocker influenced him, and he did not upgrade to the paid version. Well, he found out once he did, he cleared the blockers and cleared the resistance and was truly open to new possibilities. All of a sudden, he found out she'd been trying to reach him for months and months. They went on a date, and needless to say, it became a fantastic relationship. I got to meet her, and we're online, actually. And they have a connection, and they are both so grateful to have found each other because they both came from abusive partnerships. Isn't that interesting? And then they both did the work. They healed themselves to be truly open to new possibilities. So that's one story. I don't know why I didn't see the connection before, but there are probably many more. I've only got 4 now, but I'm going to share this next one. And this was a young woman who had dreams of getting married, having children, but she attracted partners who were not available, and they didn't have a part of them that was a real match with her. You know, that where you can deeply relax, that kind of feeling like family. So she would contort herself to fit what the partner wanted. I mean, she had intimate partners, lived with men, and she had experiences that were, some of them were okay, some of them were good. Some of them she talked herself into feeling that they were good, and they were not good. So she ended the relationship and she started working with me. She ended the last one. And this was a couple years ago, actually. And that last year she had a dream, a wish, an intention to bring in the love of her life, bring in a partner that would equate her, that she could feel relaxed with, loved, supported. She had certain characteristics and qualities like we all do. It didn't happen last year. And so she did more work. She did more clearing blockers. She did more, what do I want? And was earlier this year, maybe summer, she attracted a partner who does things like she loves doing, yoga. And that there's this harmony, and they're spending time together, doing things that they both enjoy, rather than her past partnerships. She'd go off and do yoga, and he'd go and sit in front of the TV with a bottle of beer and watch a game. So both of them up-leveled who they were turning up as, who they were being, by recognizing that who they were being attracted those past partners. They weren't victim. They weren't a victim, and that's a big deal. If we're still vibrating at victim consciousness, well, guess what's going to happen? We are going to attract more of the experience to confirm that we truly were a victim. It's terrible. I've done it. It's terrible. So cleaning up your past by cleaning out the rose-colored glasses that we've painted over our successes and our peak moments truly opens us up to new possibilities. And boy, does it improve the quality of your life, the grace that comes with it, the joyfulness, the inner happiness. All right. So as we wrap up, I would love to share with you a couple of my favorite exercises in New Year No Limits. It is a live event, so you will get me there, full live, answering questions, guiding you. And we might even do some breath work in it to start to move the energies out so we can welcome in new possibilities for the new year. So much love. Thank you for listening. I will put the link in the show notes, and I do hope I get to ring in the new year with you. Happy holidays if you get to listen to this before the holidays. And again, so much love for listening. Bye for now.